Welcome back to EDH Deck Building. I am your host, Demo, and this is Brewing with Underwhelming Commanders, episode 43. And the winner of the poll from last video, by a mile actually, is Sanwell Avenger Ace. A lot of people wanted to see me build this one, apparently. So, what is Sanwell Avenger Ace doing? Well, it's 1 and a white human pilot 3/1. As long as an artifact creature you control is attacking, prevent all damage that would be dealt to Sanwell Avenger Ace. Also though, whenever Sanwell becomes tapped, exile the top 6 cards of your library, you may cast a vehicle or artifact creature spell from among them. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in random order. So this is certainly an underwhelming commander. There is not a ton to build around here. I'll just say I like that the commander's cheap. I always like those cheap commanders because if you're building around your commander, you get it out right away and you start going to town. We also have 2 separate abilities here. Both are kind of playing into each other. Obviously, the first ability wants you to have artifact creatures, and the second ability is finding you artifact creatures. Also, we have the vehicle theme here. Also, our commander wants to get tapped, which works with the attacking and also works with the vehicles. So there is a lot of synergy here on our commander. Not a lot of overwhelming stuff. I'll just say one thing that I wanted to go after that I couldn't find was casting stuff from exile. There's been a lot of support lately in the casting stuff from exile theme, which of course your commander is doing here. Unfortunately, there is none that will fit in a mono white deck. Obviously, one thing that is for sure is that we are going to be in an artifact theme here. So I very quickly threw Oswald Fiddlebender in there. Of course, Oswald can sacrifice those artifact creatures that we are playing, sacrifice the vehicles as well, go get other artifact creatures, go get other vehicles, right? It's essentially a birthing pod type of option for a deck like this. So that was a pretty quick auto include for me. And of course, the artifact creature tribal stuff that we've been getting, like Low Shield Clockwork Scholar and Aether Shield Artificer, great fits in an artifact creature theme. Of course, Low Shield is going to give us that preventing combat damage thing, which works really nicely with our commander. We're going to prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to attacking artifact creatures we control. And of course, the artifact creatures is what we want to be attacking with, so we can prevent the damage to our commander. So with our Low Shield in play, we're attacking with our commander, we're attacking with that artifact creature. We don't have to worry about combat damage here at all. And of course, when we attack with our commander, it's going to become tapped and we will get that ability. And that ability is, I guess, just good value. Like I said, there really isn't much you can build around here other than the fact that when your commander becomes tapped or is attacking, you get to exile the top 6 cards of your library and you can cast something. Obviously, we have to make sure we are hitting something. We don't want to whiff there. I really hate whiffing on my commander's ability. So as much as we can, we want artifact creatures and vehicles in that top 6 that we can cast. I got Bronze Guardian and Iron Soul Enforcer in here. Both fantastic artifact creatures that are just fitting the artifact theme in general, right? Bronze Guardian gives our other artifacts Ward 2, which is going to be great, helps against removal. And of course, in the artifact creature theme, you are very susceptible to removal, so that's going to be extra important. And then also, Bronze Guardian's power is equal to the number of artifacts we control, so it's going to be a pretty good finisher in the deck because, of course, it also has double strike. Iron Soul Enforcer is going to be really great here. Whenever Iron Soul Enforcer or a commander you control attacks alone, return target artifact card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Obviously, we got a lot of artifacts here. Again, we're going to be a little worried about removal, so getting stuff back out of our graveyard is going to be very valuable for us. We can attack with our Iron Soul Enforcer, but of course, we want to be attacking with our commander likely as well. So that's going to be a great fit in the deck, getting us lots of free value. I got some really great artifact creatures from last year. Both Brothers War and Warhammer 40k were fantastic sets for the artifact creature theme. So Canoptic Scarab Swarm is a great one that is going to be hating on graveyards. Also gives us those 1/1 colorless insect artifact creatures tokens with flying. And of course, it's going to be very easy for us to get that trigger on our commander of preventing damage if we have those flying artifact creatures that we can just zip in for damage with, and we don't have to worry about getting blocked. Cityscape Leveler, just a great removal option in artifact creature theme. Of course, we need vehicles as well, and I just put in some great ones. Sky Sovereign, Console Flagship, and Nautiloid Ship, just really great vehicles in any commander game. Of course, we have the removal option on on Sky Sovereign. We also have the Graveyard Hate on Nautiloid Ship, stuff that you're going to be wanting in any commander deck. They also both have Crew 3, right? We want to be looking at that as well. Of course, we can use lots of different creatures to crew stuff, but our commander has a power of 3, which means our commander can very easily crew any of these ships. And of course, when our commander crews those ships, it's going to become tapped, so we will still get the ability, right? We don't have to be attacking with our commander. We can just crew vehicles in order to get that exile effect. I got Cultivator's Caravan, Ghost Ark, right? It's very easy to fill this deck up with vehicles that are going to be great. Of course, we got to have mana rocks in the deck anyway. Why not throw Cultivator's Caravan in there? And Ghost Ark is going to be particularly good because whenever it becomes crewed, each artifact creature in your graveyard gains Unearth 3 until end of turn. So a nice way to get some of those artifact creatures back from our graveyard if they have died earlier in the game. We are going to be tapping our creatures a lot, so I thought Order of Whiteclay was a really neat fit here. 1 white, Kithkin Cleric, 1/4. Pay 1 white, and untap. Return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. So this has the not often seen untap ability, which means it has to be tapped in order to use it. Now, of course, you can attack with it, I suppose, but way better way to use it is we crew a vehicle with it, right? Any of these untapping creatures work really, really well with vehicles because, of course, we can crew the vehicle with our Order of Whiteclay, and of course, we can crew as many creatures as we want in a vehicle if we just want to be tapping them, and that is the case here with Order of Whiteclay. We crew something with our commander, and then we just throw the Order of Whiteclay in the passenger seat so that we can have it tapped and then use its ability. And getting a creature card with mana value 3 or less from our graveyard to the battlefield is fantastic. There are quite a few creatures that will fit that in this deck, our commander included, right? This is a way to get our commander out of the graveyard if it dies. I really wanted to build around that first ability. I thought, how can I take advantage of that? As long as our commander is attacking, prevent all damage that would be dealt to it. As long as we have an artifact creature that is attacking as well, how can you take advantage of that ability? Our commander's a 3/1. I guess it can get in it for damage. That's not exactly menacing. You could probably do a little bit of a Voltron theme here, I guess, because you don't have to worry about your commander getting blocked, but at the same time, then people will just throw stuff in the way. It doesn't really accomplish a whole bunch. I thought an interesting way to take advantage of that ability is with a card like Nemesis Mask. 3 mana equipment with equip 3. All creatures able to block equipped creature do so. So we put this on our commander, and when we attack with it, of course, all of the defending player's creatures have to block our commander. Now, if we attack with an artifact creature as well, we don't have to worry about our commander dying in combat, obviously. So now what happens is, of course, we can assign the combat damage however we like. All of the creatures that are blocking our commander, we just basically pick the one that we want to kill, and of course also can kill. Any creature they have that's blocking that has a toughness of 3 or less, we can now get that creature off the table because we get to choose where our commander's damage goes. Grappling Hook will also work this way. Gives our commander double strike, of course, so now we're going to be dealing 6 damage with our commander, and when equipped creature attacks, you may have target creature block it this turn if able. So now we attack a player who has a creature that has a toughness of 6 or less that we want to be getting off the table, right? Our commander becomes a removal option. And a lot of people might not have thought of this particular way to use this commander. Let's say our opponent has a Vorinclex, right? Big, scary, menacing creature sitting there. They just played it. We have our grappling hook attached to our commander. We swing with our commander and we force the Vorinclex to block our commander. Of course, if we attack with an artifact creature as well, now we don't have to worry about losing our commander in combat. Our commander has double strike. Vorinclex will take a total of 6 damage, and now our commander essentially becomes a removal option. I think that's a pretty neat way to use our commander. Another thing you could do is equipment like Quietus Spike. Another great fit here, I think. 3 mana equipment. Equipped creature has Death Touch. Of course, that's always good. So our opponents won't likely want to block it. Also, when equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, that player loses half their life rounded up. Okay, well now maybe they do want to block it because they don't want to lose lose half their life. So again, this is a win-win scenario for us. We attack with our commander and an artifact creature. Now our commander, we don't have to worry about losing it in combat. If they block with a creature, their creature dies. If they don't block, now they lose half their life. Win-win scenario for us, and I really like those win-win scenarios in any commander deck. Of course, we got to put SRAM in here. We are casting lots of vehicles, so this is going to be a good card draw option for us. We also have a reasonable amount of equipment in this deck as well, so this is going to be a great card draw option in the deck. Another really interesting sort of jankier theme you could do with this commander, because I was trying to think of what is a little less boring of a way to use this commander, right? Other than I'm just doing what my commander is printed on it, how can I find a more interesting way to use this? And the funny thing about your commander's first ability is it says, as long as an artifact creature you control is attacking, you prevent all damage that would be dealt to Sanwell Avenger Ace. So if we can turn our Sanwell Avenger Ace into an artifact creature, it fulfills its own ability, right? If Sanwell Avenger Ace is an artifact creature, when it attacks, that's now an artifact creature that is attacking, so your damage will always be prevented to your commander. And I guess you could really go down this road if you wanted to do more of a Voltron strategy with your commander. You really could do that, I suppose. Liquid Metal Torque and Liquid Metal Coating, of course, are ways to do this. I would probably put Liquid Metal Torque in any mono white deck I'm making anyway, because of course we got a lot of artifact removal, and Liquid Metal Coating can be used the same way, where we can turn our opponent's permanents into artifacts and use our artifact removal to get rid of them. But now I can turn my commander into an artifact creature with these, and when it attacks, it's going to prevent its own damage, right? Ashnod's Transmogrant and Transmogrifying Lycid are more janky or interesting ways to do this that will allow us to turn our commander into an artifact creature so that when it attacks, it is preventing the damage to itself. Pretty fun, interesting way to do this. So I guess in this deck, you are able to go a couple different directions here. There is enough equipment, I think, so that you could do a little bit of a Voltron strategy. Our commander's not going to be huge, but you can use that Quietus Spike to do quite a bit of damage. You can use that Grappling Hook or that Nemesis Mask to get creatures off the battlefield. Of course, we can be crewing vehicles, attacking with them. I really like that idea of turning our own commander into an artifact creature so it prevents damage being done to itself. There really is some fun, interesting ideas in this deck, I think, and I'm pretty happy with the deck I put together, despite the fact that when I saw this guy winning the poll, I was like, oh, that's kind of boring, not really a lot you can do there. I think I did quite a lot of interesting things in this deck. If you are interested in playing this deck yourself, of course, the deck list is in the description below, and as always, the poll for the next Underwhelming Commanders video is in the description as well. Go there and vote on which commander you want me to build a deck for in the next Underwhelming Commanders video. That is it for today, though, and thanks for tuning in.